Good morning, everyone. 10 a.m. Wednesday, back in the Wednesday class. Feel free to say good morning. Feel free to say hello. We have Dinah on the chat today. Hello, we've got Jane from Bristol, Lynn in Somerset today. Hello, hello. Yeah, feel free to say hello wherever you are. It's lovely to have everyone here. Cliff is away today. He's not so well. So as we're going through some of this health clearing in ourselves, perhaps we can share a little bit with not only Cliff, but anyone else who's not feeling well today. We'll get to that in a minute. We're going to carry on with... We've been doing the fire element recently, so the heart and the small intestine channel. There's lots of people. Hello, hello, all over the place. Lovely to see you all here. We're going to do a bit of scanning in ourselves at the beginning as usual, and then I'm going to ask you a few polls so you can respond. And yeah, so as I've already said, we've got Dinah in the chat, so any questions, feel free to pass them to Dinah. And let's have a lovely session and start our Wednesday well. So, if you would like to stand, or you can stay sitting. Let's do just a little opening moment. So if you can have a moment of not typing so much, but sorry, my screen's just going dark. I'm going to need to keep it open. There we go. But let's just have a moment of standing or sitting, and let's just close our eyes and just feel our heads naturally floating up and our spine naturally floating down, with our pelvis and legs nice and heavy towards the ground. And then just get a sense of standing in a circle or sitting in a circle, pardon me, with everyone who is joining in this class. The people who are joining in later, online, on catch up, and the people who are here now, all of us in this lovely group. It's lovely to be here with you. Thank you for joining. As a class, we can open our eyes and let's just get started. So, we're going to go into a scan. So feel free to bring your self. I prefer doing this standing up. If you want to be sitting down, that's fine. But generally, this is a lot easier if you're standing up. I find it easiest being shoulder width apart with the feet, but you can also be hip width, and that's fine. Just find what's right for you. So bring your attention now to the top of your head. And we're going to scan down as if you're kind of scanning through a bit like an MRI scanner or a fax machine or something like that. Just notice how the top of the head is feeling, the front of the head, sides, back of the head, the face with all the facial features. How's your jaw, your neck, back of the neck, sides, and shoulders. How are your shoulders today? Often an area of tension. And we're just noticing for any areas of weakness or obvious blockages, fullness, thickness, whatever the quality is. Moving through the arms now. I'm just going to focus on the arms only. So come down through the upper arms, to the elbows. How are your elbows today? Down through the forearms, more stringy muscles and tendons. And you've got 2 bones in the forearm. To the wrists. Maybe a little movement in the wrist just to kind of check in with it. Any blockage or weakness or anything like that in there. And then through all the little bones and muscles and tendons of the hands and fingers, all the way to the fingertips. And then the whole arm, hand, fingers, how's that hanging? Okay, bring the attention back up, shoulders, and your attention now through the shoulders, torso, just scanning through the chest, upper back, and the rib cage, inside and out, all the organs, bones and muscles. How am I in here today? Interesting. I'm noticing a few things. Into the belly, the abdomen. No bones apart from the spine. How's the spine? The lower back. It's a classic place for some people to have tension and others to have weakness. How's your lower back? Your sides? Your belly? And inside, in the intestines, the organs, the kidneys and the bladder. And now the pelvic girdle, the whole pelvis. You've got the large sacrum bone on the back, you've got great big pelvic bones here. And then you've got your hips, big hip joints. Maybe move them around a little bit, just notice how they're feeling. Scan down through the thighs, the knees, largest joints in the body, the knees. Through the lower legs, into the ankles, and through the feet, all the way through the feet, lots of little bones, tendons, muscles, right through to the toes. Any areas of interest there? And then just get a sense of the whole picture of the whole body. Okay. What's that like? Any areas that are catching your attention? I know I've got a couple. Just be aware of one or two. Okay, and with these one or two areas, let's just go into feeling, not just physically, are they a bit blocked? Is it a bit weak? But also, how am I in this area? Is it kind of, is there an emotional quality? Is there a mental quality, even a spiritual aspect to it? Just notice what it's like for you. Okay. And then come out and eyes into the room. And we're going to, if you can just, if you have pen and paper, as we often do, maybe just make a note of that. Oh. There we go.
Hey, Basti.
Hello, Dana.
There's a problem with the acoustics. Every time you speak, there's a crackling sound. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that.
I don't know. Hang on a second.
Have a twiddle. It's not just me. Everyone's noticing it.
I'm so sorry, everyone. Let me just see if I can check something. Is it still happening?
I'm afraid it is, yes. It's just a little, every time you actually speak, there's just a little crackle.
What about if, is that any better?
Nope, still the same.
The wonders of technology.
Yes, we may have to just live with it.
Let me just try 1 second. There seems to be a bit of a crackle on the sound. Do you know what that might be about? We have Shakura's technical advisor here.
Fantastic. Oh, Claudine says she doesn't have a crackle.
That's what I was just about to say.
Lucky you, Claudine.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Can I just ask, is absolutely everyone getting a crackle when I speak?
Everyone except Claudine has said so.
Okay.
Oh.
Let me just try a completely different.
Oh, there's a few no's now. Some people saying no, but most people are saying yes.
Most people saying, let me try a different microphone altogether.
Now you're silent. Susie suggests that we assume that it's Qi crackling. Oh, Doris hasn't got a crackle. Fantastic. But now we can't hear you at all, Basti. Or I can't hear you at all. You're muted. Unmute. Nobody can hear you. There's a little mute sign in the corner of your screen, Basti. Can you unmute? Kim says maybe on the keyboard you can unmute. Still can't hear you. You're still muted. There's a mute sign in your screen picture. He's chatting away there. Whether it's to us or to Shakura, it's hard. Yeah, maybe we should all log out and log in again. Maybe that's an idea, Teresa. Hmm. No. You're still muted. It still says mute. Okay, I'll do something while we're waiting.
Okay, can I now?
Okay. Any better?
I was just going to do something in the interim. Let's hear you, Basti. Can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yay! No crackle. Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Woohoo! I'll disappear.
Thank you so much, Dinah, for helping. Thank you, everyone, for letting us know and bearing with us. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. So let's think. Well, let's just start again. We'll just go through. I just have to do a brief straighten up the camera. There we go. We'll briefly go through a scan to find out what's going on, all of us together. Just a brief one. And then I'll ask the polls and we'll get going. Otherwise, we'll never get any exercise done. So if we could all come back to standing, or if you prefer sitting, then sitting. Okay. Bring your attention to the top of your head. And just scanning down, noticing how you're feeling in your head. After that, now how are we feeling in the throat and neck and shoulders? Any areas of blockage or weakness through the upper body, the arms? Scanning down through the rib cage, the elbows, the back. Any obvious areas catching your attention, belly, forearms, hands. Scanning down through hips and pelvis, through legs, knees, calves, ankles and feet. Any areas that catch your attention. So for me, I've got a couple, one different to before, but basically the same. And just notice those areas in particular, and just notice that they're far more physical. Are they a bit more to do with feeling, emotions? Is there a mental aspect to them that's very obvious? Just notice what that's like. Don't have to go into it too much, just noticing. And then, come back out into the room. If you have pen and paper and you do this each week, then do a little pen and paper something. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I have a basic picture of course, mine involves the head being a little bit after all of that, but my main areas are shoulders and solar plexus or diaphragm. So for me, that's what's most obvious. For you, you'll have whatever you find for yourself that's going on right now. I'm going to do a poll. In fact, I'll do 2 polls before we get into the 3 burners. And it is to find out, where do you feel the block or weakness you'd like to work with is? So do you find it's more up in the head or the neck, the shoulders, limbs and arms or legs? Is it more in the spine, in the back, or is it more in the torso, main trunk of the body? So for me, far more shoulders. Well, I don't know, the diaphragm's quite strong for me. For you, there's a lot of head and neck, but there's also a lot of torso. Yeah, it's pretty even there. Oh, head and neck taking a little bit more. A few more people still putting in. Okay, so less to do with the limbs. A little bit to do with the back, but not so much. Bit of shoulders, much more head and neck, but also torso and trunk of body. Excellent. So with this, now I'm going to come back and ask one more poll, which is, do you feel the block or weakness that you were noticing and focusing on was a bit more physical, it's a bit more emotional, kind of like more sort of mental, even spiritual, then you can put it into emotional, or both, or not really sure. Okay, so what we've been working on, the heart and the small intestine, are very much a sort of like a home for our mind and our emotions and our spiritual connection to a certain degree as well. Okay, so quite a few people have responded, and it's pretty much even physical, emotional, or both. So, and do you know what? That's absolutely true in a sense, because when it really comes down to it, it's all of those layers or levels or qualities. But that's a discussion for a whole nother time. Okay. Kim, you're doing the hokey pokey with the whole body. Fantastic. We'll get the whole body worked. Now we're going to do one quick scan to check in with the 3 burners, and then we'll find out where the 3 burners we're wanting to work with is. So again, just coming into scan. Close your eyes, settle your attention inwards now. And we're going to notice the torso of the body, starting lower down. So this area from the seat of the pelvis up to the belly button. And we have our intestines, kidneys, and bladder in here. What's the feeling in our lower burner like? Just noticing, interesting. It had a sort of maybe an image to it. What would that be like? Okay. Bringing our attention upwards from the belly button up to the diaphragm. We have stomach and spleen and pancreas. We have liver and gallbladder. So now in this area, what's this middle burner area like? Just being interested. If it had an image about it, what would that be like? Oh, okay, very different. And now coming up to the upper burner from the diaphragm upwards to the collarbones, we have our lungs, our heart, and heart protector, which is also called pericardium. Upper burner area, what's this like? Okay. So if you have paper and you're making images and making notes, please do make a couple of notes.
Basti, the sound's gone crackly
here
again. Kim thinks it might be when you're closer to the microphone, but now you are, and it's still crackling. So I don't know what you did before, but maybe you could try again.
I'm reluctant to try again in case it cuts me out again.
Some people are finding it really hard to hear.
Let me try one thing.
I'll stay on stage so I can give you feedback, but you're muted now, Basti. There's the mute sign is back on your screen. Jane, it is all on a flat surface and well supported. It's standard for all the webinars. We may have to live with a bit of crackle. I'm on stage, but not visible. But I'm about to be visible.
I think I'll just meditate.
Yeah, I think that's.
How about now? Can you hear now?
Yes, that's. Yes, all good.
Is there volume?
Hooray. Fingers crossed it stays like that.
Can you hear me at all? Okay, people are saying thumbs up. Fantastic, thank you.
Sounds fine again.
So I'm going to go ahead with this poll. Hopefully we can carry on. So which burner do you want to work on most today? Perhaps you remember what we were just doing. For me, I think lower burner is what I'm needing most of today. But what are you all saying? We have a lot of people have put in upper burner, then middle, then lower. So we have most people saying upper burner. So a lot of people talking about head and neck stuff going on, both being physical and emotional, and a lot of upper burner stuff. So we'll try and focus a bit more on those things. And if we get time, we'll do point of the week. If we don't, we won't. Okay. Let's actually start now. I'm going to take my glasses off. So come to standing. Okay. I'm going to get us to start off just by rocking backwards and forwards on the feet. Just so you get a sense of the feet moving. Always good to take care of your feet and your mouth. First point for going inwards, first point for the body standing on the ground. Okay. Just kind of like rock the feet around on the ground. Maybe lean back on one foot and then move one foot about. Just open it out. Doing circles on the ball of the foot. Opening out all those little bones. If you'd like, I'll come a little bit closer so you can hear me. And then give it a shake. And do the other side. There's lots of tendons and ligaments in the foot, so let's just open them out. And often when we do work on our hands and feet, it can help bring emphasis away from the upper body or the torso. So it's a nice thing. It helps the Qi to flow down the channels, the blood and lymph to move out and back up again. So it helps remove emphasis away from these sort of stuck areas. Okay, and give that a shake out. Okay. Now, I'd like you to grab hold of a thigh and give it a bit of a wobble, and then go down until you get to the knee. Give the knee just a little bit of a move around. You're not moving the kneecap solidly, you're just moving your hands around, getting warmth and movement around the knee joint. And then, if you can get to the calf muscle, give that a bit of a shake. If you can't get to it with your hands, try and give your leg a bit of a shake like that. Do the same on the other side. Grab hold of as much around the whole leg as you can. Going down the thigh, around the knee joint, but not moving the actual kneecap with your hand, just going around the knee joint. But we're getting Qi moving through by encouraging it with the hands, but you can also just think it's warming the joint. Now, if you can move the calf muscle with your hands, great, and if you can't, give the leg a bit of a shake out. Okay. We're going to take a couple of breaths into the lower burner. So bring one hand onto the front of the lower burner. If your shoulder's happy doing so, bring your hand onto the lower back or the sacrum behind. If the shoulder's not happy doing that, just bring the hand in front. So this is between the belly button and the pelvis. There we go. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. So we're going to do a couple of nice breaths, filling into the lower body. So it's as if you're breathing in and let everything settle down. And then when you're ready, you breathe out what you don't need. So breathing in, filling up. Let it all settle down into this area. And then breathe out what you don't need. And breathe in. Everything settling down to the lower burner. last one, breathing in. Let everything settle down. Okay, and then we're just going to do some rubbing of the lower bone with our hands. Again, this is below the belly button. And this is going to be helpful to stimulate the lower burner, which has the intestines, and therefore some of the movement through the intestines, like the small intestine, which is part of the channel we're on at the moment, as well as the kidneys and the bladder, which underpins so much of our health. So it's really, really helpful to take care of the lower burner. This is going to bring a bit of energy in, but it's also going to get a bit of movement going. Some of these circles just warming, and imagine, if you'd like, a sort of a warming light or a warming liquid pouring through the hands, Qi coming from the hands into this lower burner area, and just bathing everything there in a nice quality. Now, hopefully you can still hear me. If not, just try to follow what I do. Okay, and then let the hands come still. Okay, just do some gentle tapping around the lower abdomen. If you can, reach around the back and do some gentle tapping around your sacrum. Now, if you felt you had a bit of a blockage down here, and it's not too emotional, then you can do more tapping. But if it's not so much a blockage for you, or if it's a bit more emotional, then take it much lighter. Okay. Now we're going to go down the backs of the legs, which is the realm of the bladder. And then when we come up, the legs will come up just on the inside, sort of inside of the backs of the legs, which is more the kidney. Okay, so we're going to go down the back. And then up the inside. One more time. Okay, now my screen keeps going blank for some reason, so I'm just going to cracking again. Is this any better? So if the sound is crackling still, I'm very sorry, but I'm going to carry on, and hopefully you can just follow as best as can. Now we're going to do the arm swings, which will open up our shoulders, the chest, and the upper burner, but it connects to the lower burner. So breath comes in, the lungs descend it, and it connects to the kidneys. So, starting off like this. And then allow yourself to focus on the lower burner and the legs, and put a bit more bounce. For more emphasis behind you. Okay, and just keep going for a moment. And try to have a sense of the legs doing most of the work. Push, 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 push. Okay. And just a few more. You can point the fingers. And when you're ready, letting the arms just relax until you come to a sense of stillness. Okay. And then we're going to take a couple more breaths. I'll just see what you're saying. Okay. Yes, Annette, I'm not quite sure what's going on for you there, as I don't have any of the slides up. But I will keep on
I
going.
suggest that Annette tried logging out and logging in again.
Dinah, I can't hear you now, I'm afraid.
Really? I'm not muted.
Well, as the Tao Te Ching says,
So it goes.
do you feel you can change the world? I don't believe it can be done.
Okay, I think the others can hear me. So, Annette, just leave and rejoin. Maybe you won't see the picture. And for the rest of you, if the crackling's too annoying, just
so if you can hear Dinah, hopefully she's helping with
just
something.
turn off your sound on your computer and follow Basti's movement.
So now going to move to a couple more breaths after opening out the upper body and opening the lungs a bit. We're going to see if we can connect a bit deeper to that lower burner. So let's give that one more go. A couple of breaths down here. So breathing in, let everything settle down, and then breathe out what you don't need. Last one. Okay, hopefully a little bit easier for you. It was for me. So now we're going to go up to the middle burner. And this likes to have more smooth movement, especially for the liver and gallbladder, and then a nice feeling of getting your needs met for the stomach and spleen. So we're going to put our hands over the belly button and then do circles, big circles, all the way around. So now if you can do big circles all the way around your belly and feel like a warm nectar from your hands, just kind of flowing into your digestion. Normally, this is done 81 times, but we'll just do it a few minutes, for a few seconds. So this is a building and nourishing, this is strengthening in here. Okay. And then coming to a close by letting the circles get smaller and smaller. Until it comes to a natural stop, smaller, stillness right inside. Okay, then we're going to do the circles, the turning. So we normally do this. You know this one very well. And it's turning the hips. The knees don't want to turn like this. They want to stay in the middle. So it's the hips that are turning. And then the arms So this is done by allowing the legs, sorry. This is done by allowing the legs to stay nice and steady. Steady and strong, the whole lower base, nice and steady. And then when we turn, all of this up here, you're just letting go. Just let it go, let it move. And if you have more need to release, I have quite a lot, then you can turn harder. Or if you want it to be nice and gentle, work with what you need. What you need may be soft and a light turn, slowly. Or maybe what you need is moving this, so you, but take a couple of minutes your way. And work with the breath. Breath always helps. Breath, in almost every culture, is synonymous, is perfectly aligned with our Qi, with spirit. Okay. And then just start to let that relax, relax, until it comes to a natural stop. Any small micro movements inside the body, just letting them happen until you find your center. Okay? Okay. How's that feeling in the middle burner? A bit better? But let's just do some tapping. So we're going to do tapping down, outside of the front of the leg, up the inside of the front of the leg. Do that 3 times. Okay. One more time. Okay, and we'll also go down the outside, and then back up on the inside. Okay, 3 times as well. So. Last one. Hey, how's that? Hopefully it's okay. Okay, so now we can move into the upper burner, which is what most people were after. And there was a lot of neck and shoulder stuff. So we'll focus here. First of all, just a bit of a jiggle. My screen's gone blank, so you carry on. Okay. And just maybe if you lean your head over, you can be aware of one side jiggling different areas. Be gentle and use the whole body to jiggle. And then come up and go over to the other side. In back and forwards. Okay, and then we're going to do a big breath in and breathe out. So breathe in. It's almost like you're throwing something down. So breathe in and throw down. One more time. Okay, there's a general shake off for the shoulders. And now let's work on the upper burner. So we're going to breathe in and then out. Now, give yourselves a loud sigh. Very important to have a nice loud sigh. Okay, breathing in. Couple more times. Now, if this is too much for the shoulders going right up, just go to where you can do it. Go to what's all right for your shoulders. If you can reach up, let's go right up. So one last one. Okay. And then we're going to do this one. I'm sure you remember, we've done it before. So going forwards stretches round the back, and then opening up stretches through the front to the middle finger. So breathing in. Two more times. One more time. And this is stretching the triple heater and the heart protector. And the triple heater, or triple burner, it obviously governs 3 burning spaces. And the heart protector obviously does a bit of protecting and governing of the heart. But it all helps to work with the heart and the small intestine in the fire element. So perfect stuff. Now again, if your shoulders are good for it, we're going to do this stretch. So you make sure your little fingers are touching. And open, you breathe in. And open out the elbows. Let your hands drop backwards. And then come forward again. Breathe in. Don't worry if you can't go right back. If your shoulders, this is too much, bring your hands up here and then just keep your elbows out and you can press your hands inwards. So. up and drop backwards, or in front of you and drop inwards. Okay. What time have we got to? Ooh, 10:02 already. My screen's gone blank again. Here we go. So hopefully you're all still following, and hopefully the sound is okay. So we're going to do the point of the week. We've got just enough time. So let me get the slide up. Oh,
Hi everyone.
sorry. Thank you very much, Teresa. Very appreciative. Now, I believe we are here. Small intestine 19, where it ends. In fact, could I just ask, if anyone was here last week, which I couldn't make, did you do this point in the shoulder? Could anyone just let me know? You did, thank you, Jane. And have you done this point next to the ear? Oh, Jane says no, Inga says yes. No. Inga, perhaps you were talking about the shoulder. Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So this is the point we're going to be working on today. This is the end of the small intestine channel, I believe. Qi Gong, Palace of Hearing. Fantastic for helping the ears, for hearing in general. It's a meeting point of the small intestine. The triple heater, which I was saying a minute ago, runs down the outside of the arm, and the gallbladder, which governs the sides of the head and the tops of the shoulders, sides of the bodies. All three of these channels run through the head, the back and sides of the neck, and across the shoulders. So everyone's saying shoulder issues. This is going to be great. This will be interesting to see where you feel it. It also is said to calm the spirit. Why would it calm the spirit? Now, there's a few different reasons. Partly, there's a bit of a theory that there's a spiritual center here, but also the small intestine channel is linked with the heart, and the heart houses what's called the Shen, and this is like the very spirit of our awareness, of our consciousness. And so this can be a great point for kind of sinking inwards and therefore calming the mind, the Shen, the spirit. And so we're going to do this point now. What I would like to know, I don't have a poll for this, unfortunately, but what I would like to know at the end is, do you feel it more in the ear, more in the neck and shoulders, or more generally in a sense of feeling calmer? So we're going to find the tragus. Now I'll try and get close to the camera for this. This is the sort of sticky out bit for the ear, so hopefully you can see that. And we're going to come just in front of this, and to really help, if you open your jaw like that, you'll find that it dips in behind the jaw bone. So you'll watch my finger. You hear that? It just goes, mwah. There you go. So there's the point. So if we just take a moment, use a finger, and just contact the area, and just generally give it a little bit of a massage around, so you're kind of getting a bit of movement, a bit of a build-up of Qi, and so you're feeling the landmarks. Now, go right into the point and just sink in and relax.
Basti, can you hear me?
Extend your Qi in.
Very good.
And notice, where do you feel it most? In the ear? Into the neck and shoulders? or in a general sense of calming? Or maybe all. Okay. So, and we can do the other side. So let's just come and do the other side as well. So we're going to find the ear. There's the ear. Find the middle point. There's the tragus. I think it's called the tragus. There's the sticky out bit. Come just in front. And then rub until you find that dip for the point. And then nice and steady and relaxed. Relax your shoulder. And let the hand sink in. Let a feeling of Qi sink in. Where are you noticing the feeling? Is it just in this area, jaw and ear? Is it more in the neck and the back and the shoulders? Or is it more in a sense of calming? Okay, so I'd be interested, where are you noticing that feeling? So first time I did it, at first it was just the ear, and then I really felt it across here. The second time it was more here, and then again a change, but it was more in general feeling here. So if you'd like to share, I'd love to hear. So this is small intestine 19. Sally, you found it calming mostly. Excellent. And yeah, like we said, lots of channels come together here. It can be generally calming for people. It can be great if you've got a sense of blockage in the ear and around the jaw. And if there's any neck tension, you can have that thing. Now, what's really fun, I find, is if you were to connect one or both, and then you can change the effect. You can try and go, this is more for the ear, this is more for the neck and shoulders, or this is more for a sense of calming. Yeah, calming jaw and neck tension release. Beautiful, Georgina, it's fantastic. It can be absolutely fantastic for so many effects across here. So have fun with that. Now we've got the last couple of minutes. So if we can come up and similar to how Cliff ends the session, we're going to just do some sink down, push into the ground, raise your hands up, and then sink down, let your hands come down. Push into the ground, hands float up, sink down, let your hands float down. Make the awareness more about the lower body for now, unless what you're feeling is more raising, but otherwise sinking. Push into the ground, sink back down to the ground. Last couple, push into the ground, and then sink back down to the ground. Okay, shake off. And then, as I like to close normally, we'll just imagine being in a circle again with everyone. So if you allow yourself to go inwards, sitting or standing, see yourself in the circle, everyone who's been here. Thank you so much, Dinah. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you everyone who's joining in later. Lovely to be in this class, even when technical difficulties happen. Have yourself a lovely day. Thank you so much, everyone. I will now close this down. Oh, what a day. We'll see. Maybe this is the start of one of those days, or maybe we're just getting it out of the way now so we can have a good one afterwards.
Well, Basti.
Thank you, Dinah.
Perseverance furthers the wise.
Unfortunately, I still can't hear you, but hopefully everyone else can.
I won't say anything else.
I'll put a
Well
heart
done.
in.
Bye.
Okay. Goodbye.